Muse, rhyme of the beef of the son of Peleus that piled mad grief all upon the Achaeans and spurred to perdition the souls of real gangsters, yo, and for bitches and crows they made banquets. The mighty god Zeus's will was accomplished when, fighting, those two was split up in contest. Atrides, lord of men, and Achilles with the brilliance. Which of the gods willed these two to militants? The seed of Zeus and Leda, who was beefin at the leader, brought disease up in this peace, and the legions were disseason, cause the mighty king Atrides is to high priest, name O Chrysis, for he beat feet to the fleet of the Greek peeps with a pricey ransom, countless in its bounty, for his daughter, who got captured, with the chaplet on the pimp cane of Apollo who will cap you from a distance, and his mission to petition the Achaeans, especially the two Atrides, the chiefs of Grecian defense. Lord Atrides, and Achaeans with griefs that are pimpest, may the highest of the deities, who live on Mount Olympus, let you pillage Priam's village, and return you to your hood. Just release my dear Chrysis, and you'll earn cash for my blood, and you'll respect Apollo, Pachin, Heat, the son of God. Then all Achaeans howled back that he was really good to acknowledge this apologist and take the handsome ransom, but his prayer found no favor when Atrides checked the scansion. He ejected him and wrecked him with invective, bum as missiles. Grandfather, best not follow me amongst these hollow vessels, best not see you tarry now nor detect you comin' back now, lest the pimp cane of Apollo not protect you from the smackdown. I never shall release her, old age comin' down upon her in our home, in Greece, far from the country of her father, for I doom her to the loom work and to humor my dark passions. Hyposton, he the most mackest gentleman in the game. The soothsayer felt braver and he started to direct this to him. Prayers met with favor, you ain't vexed I'm with no hecatomb, he's steppin', cause the priest weren't respected by the king. Didn't let the snow get, lest I forget my head, and you not find yours fastened. Thus he stated, and the aged man, afraid, obeyed the motion he denied, went silently beside the strident waves of ocean, there to sing a righteous song to beat the seas uproar. He hollered to the king of light and song whom sleek-haired Leda bore, Apollo. Hark, silver archer, who guards squares, kill a godly tenedos, no end to those darn mice he killin', if ever, praisin' you. I raised the roof all upon the house or this high priest wrapped a thigh piece in holocaust of cows and mountain goats, then count my vote, fulfillin' my desire for my grievin' days, let Grecians pay. You'll kill them with gunfire. His entreaty reached the ear of the far-shot Apollo, who plummeted from summits, his heart hot with choler, with a shotty on his body and a scope open at both ends, and his missiles they would whistle when he focused his emotions through the weapon. He stepped in, fell like the knight, took a seat far from the fleet, and his pellets took flight with each round. A sunburst and a sound of thunder busted caps up in their asses, and their hounds put under, but soon mortal fire turned to soldiers of the Grecians, and the funeral pyres burned, smoldered without season. For 9 days, the deity, he stoked the conflagration. The 10th day, Pelides convoked a congregation from Hera, Lacan, Melanin. The thought had descended, she dared to back the Hellenics and sought to defend them. So then all the men who were sent for congested, and Achilles, who was illest of sprinters, suggested, Atrides, our attack's been driven back. It would be wise to peace, returnin' on a journey home, and this way no one dies at least, or else our guys are buyin' it from violence and virulence. But come on, let us summon some diviner, whether Hierophant or someone who has the Neapolitan persuasion. He'll perceive for us the reason fair Apollo's gun is blazin'. Have our prayers found disfavor? Did we vex him with a hecatomb? He may desire a savor that's delectable, directed to him. Let's get sheep and goats and smoke a fat one for Apollo. Then he sat down, having spoken. That one's words were followed by Calchas Storides, foremost authority who foresees the future, the now, and before in dreams, who charted, navigatin' the Greeks into Ilium with arts of divination which Phoebus had given him. He chimed in with a rhyme which he meant with good intentions. Achilles, it's your will for me to venture what's botherin' the sovereign of snipers. Why he's haxed you I'll tell you. Listen well, though, and promise my protection mentally, corporally, defend me, uncollapsin, for I sense one GBs or at least impending, one who's captain of the Grecians, all Achaeans to this mean one pay obeisance, his puissance ain't believable to behold when the beef is on. At first dolor over us, his soreness he'll conceal away, he'll nurse that curse and hoard it, till like Horus it sees the day it's burning, in his sternum it keeps churning, with his heartbeat, but hell, I might as well tell, if you're certain you'll my guard be. Responding, Achilles the swift got to spit in. No despondence, get on this and gift us your vision. You're the divine's most favored. S what I'm saying. Your oracles shine when you're praying for dominance, while I live beneath the daylight. Any cracker by the side of these ships won't seek to lay a heavy smack down on you. Hide, ain't no one. Even though Agamemnon is the name, WTY free or collect upon the billing, ergo the brother can't stop, won't stop. Plagueine, Therefo, another man drops, till the day when the handsome-eyed honey is returned to her father with no ransom cash money, and you burn up an offering on Chris. Convince him with such an appeasement. The soothsayer finished his rhyme and was seated. Up jumped the chief, Agamemnon Atrides, pumped up with grief, black with venom inside. He screamed, eyes agleam, as if set with a fire of malice, to Calchas, a threat hella dire. You prophet of apocalypse, your drop-ins ain't cooperative. The sheet you foreseen may be pleasant to your cognitive, but what's really good? You ain't never do or say it, now you play in, like Isaiah, 'cause you spray to the Danans that Apollo with the hollow tip because an sorrow causo this. The billing that they was bringin' for Chrysis didn't alter shit. I sent them bitches packin'. Want my baby where I kept her, she better for the mackin' than my lady Clytemnestra. Both babies got back, get stack, and got so, but I'll give her back for the good of the whole, 'cause I need that my peoples be ill, but not sick. But every thug needs a shorty, so score me some chick lest I go without the booty. Alone of Achaeans, check it out, y'all. My homegirl is peacin'. Then the words of the godlike Achilles were resoundin'. O Atrides most fly, who loves to rule cash around him, how are great-hearted Greeks gonna get that stack? We know of no dough that was left inject. What we gettin' from settlements we sacked was split up. It's unfitting to get the men to stack that sheet up, yet to God you speak thus forth. However, your underlings will pay back to the 3s and 4s, if ever Zeus the Thundering gives us the well-walled city Troy to sack. Then Agamemnon tells all, it's ya boy right back. Achilles, like a god, though you may be a great G, don't front in your thoughts, can't evade or persuade me or try to keep a prize, while my pockets barren be, and plan to command my ass into charity. If these Achaean heroes yet are giving me a prize, I decree got equal zeros when they chip in GS to buy. But hell, if they will not, I'll jack something precious from your stash, Achilles, Ajax, or Odysseus. When I come to levy fines, he gon' feel so irate. Word, but don't pay, no never mind, we can deal with that later. Let's tow us a vessel that's black to the tides, get rowers assembled, and pack it with bribes, so Chrysis with the cheeks that are roundest gets all upons. The leader, he should be of good counsel when called upon. Ajax, Idomeneus, Odysseus divine, or you, son of Peleus, of all men most malign. So you please with sacrifice the one who hits farthest. Then the fleetest cat replied with a look of grim darkness. Your raiment is your shamelessness, for gain you are insatiate. I ain't see how Danans are persuaded by your ravings yet to march on the road or to fight foemen fearsome. I ain't come to blows here cause of Trojan spurmen who ain't tried to battle or beef with me or to drive off my cattle or steeds, you see, nor despoiled any harvest of hero raising PHTHIA where soil clods are largest. Between us lay the difficult shadows of the shady peaks, and seas strong of voice no, we're shadowing this shameless G, so he can rejoice and pilfer him some loot, for this dog and Menelaus from Ilium. The truth of this wrong won't bend or sway him. This same one indeed now threatens to jack my prize which came from the Greeks, my sweat and my sacrifice. My booty can't compare to yours, G. Anytime Achaeans loot some Trojan territory, plentiful with beings. What though the mass of the rush of the battle my hands fight it, when dividing up the cots to your ass will the greater part go, while I stomp back to my fleet with some dainty cargo, when the combat has me beat. Now I'm going toward Thessaly. I know it's far better to head home in curved vessels, and no more just sit here, exempt of my honor, and beef up your purse. Agamemnon responded, the chief, with a verse. Most definitely, if your heart calls you, I ain't gonna pray you to stay 'cause of me or my niggas, for the biggest of advisors is Zeus. Of all kings whom gods bring up, most despised to me is you, for you nourish your soul with war, strife, and battle. You got courage, but hold up, God gave you that all float home in your boats, rule your Myrmidon legions, though I don't mean to gloat, fool ain't worrying me, then, your beef is just paltry, so just see what you think of this. Since Phoebus Apollo took Chryses from my fingertips, I'll send the lady back with my legions and my fleet, but then I'll maybe mac on Briseis, who's so sweet. When I enter in your tent to apprehend her, get my drift, how inferior to me you are. Then men here won't be swift to compare themselves to me, or say they equal me. Identical despair developed deep in Pelides, his ventricles were scattered in his chest. Should he dive for the sword hilt in its scabbard? Should he wrest it from his thigh where he wore it and put it in his enemy, then search the chief for drops? Or should he seek serenity and urge his beef to stop? Those two courses warred in his heart serene as he drew forth his sword. Then in darts Athena from the heights, white-armed Hera had enlisted and deployed her, both delighting in Achilles, and solicitous like lawyers see Athena stand behind him, bind him back by his blonde hair. She appeared to none beside him, rhymed to no one else who's there, and Achilles was astounded, turned around and then perceived Athena great and terrible, and veritably he made a sound unto to her. His words flew, hear the spiel. Why you down on the earth, child of Zeus with the shield? Did the arrogance of Atreus's baby catch your notice? Let me lay it on you, lady, ain't no maybe, yeah, I know this. Forthwith his haughtiness will sacrifice his heart, then neath the goddess with the flashing eyes retorts. I descend to end your temper, and to sway your intentions. From the stars, her to thee I had me sent in, 'cause she loves you hella deep, and she caring for you, man. But come on, quell your beef, and don't take your sword in hand, drop a diss track instead, so ill that he'll gasp. Cop, listen. I pledge this will come to pass. He'll present shining presents thrice boost in your pay for his vainglery. Restrain your beef and do what I say. Then Pelides the speedy spoke, laid before her. There is need for me, O deity, to obey your order, though it's deep indeed. This quarrel, hell, this way's truly safer. If one says to the immortals, they'll listen to his prayers on a hilt wrought with silver. Hand was stayed from the slaughter, and he stabbed into the scabbard and obeyed Zeus's daughter, who, once she's cared for him, to the heavens makes an odyssey where shield-bearer lives, plus 11 gods and goddesses. Then Achilles hit Atrides, rhymed a banful answer, turning villains to contrite gs, rife with pain and anger. Got the eyes of a bitch, but your center's a fawn. You imbibin the Chris while your men fightin' on ya. I scramble to an ambush with the baddest of the Greeks, but your spirit ain't no spearman, 'cause it fears to be deceased. But it's all good to jack the Benjamins wherever you might venture through the hood of Grecian gentlemen. From anyone against you, you bite on your own crew. If these bitches had a spine, they'd not fight to follow you. You'd have spit your final rhyme. Now I'm swearing on the mic like parental advisory, invention which augments transcendental or miserly verses for all purposes. Purchase or piracy, the censors are spent. Won't venture to silence me rockin' on your system. And the Greeks will check the method when the rock is barren. Witness or it speak respect to heaven. I'm raising up a covenant from here unto the Lord, that ends will be coveting this hero's awesome sword. Though your grieving is increasing, no protector given aid to thee. Deceased will pile, he pan, under Hector like he's HIV, and salt from your crayon gonna burn your lacerations when all you'll be dying, 'cause you spurned the best Dan N.